Welcome back. You know, it's true to say that most of the major country towns in Australia are located very close to the coast, and even more relevantly, they are located on rivers. Now, most of those towns were established and settled by water with small boats, starting with the Tom Thumb, moving up and down the coast from Sydney, moving up the big rivers, particularly in northern New South Wales, finding an ideal place on which town, doing so, and then for many years after that, the produce of those areas, the timber and the dairy produce, the products of cultivation, were actually taken to the major markets, particularly in Sydney again, by boat. Now, a case in point is Taree, which is located on the superb Manning River, about 2 hours drive north of Newcastle and about 3.5 hours drive north of Sydney. And each year in January, Taree celebrates her very close ties with the Manning River with the Taree Aquatic Festival. Now I had the honour and the pleasure this year of being the guest of honour and officially opening the Taree Aquatic Festival for 1989. And the opening was accompanied by a large and quite spectacular street parade, the crowning of the Festival Queen for 1989, and quite a lot of celebration. Now, it's really nice to see this sort of thing happen. It's nice to see a town celebrate its ties with the river which caused it to be established in the first place and which nurtured and supported it for so many years. And I guess in a way it's also nice to see the fact that now that the river is no longer relevant as a commercial enterprise or as a commercial route apart from fishing, it's being celebrated in its leisure context as far as the local community is concerned. And each year, the Taree Aquatic Festival is famous for its boat races, and we have boats come from all over the eastern half of the country, up and down the coast, and really mix it in some very close racing on the river right near the bridge in the centre of town at Taree. Unfortunately this year, the weekend was quite wet. It was high tide and it was monsoonal rains, unseasonal rains, so the entire thing was very wet. But the competitors and the organisers and the townspeople of Taree were totally undaunted by that, and the festival went on virtually as if nothing had happened and as if it was in bright sunny weather. And these fellas really know how to mix it in the various classes of speedboat. There were boats from the smallest outboard powered and inboard powered class boats right up to absolute thundering monsters powered by purpose-built 7 and 8 litre turbocharged twin overhead cam V8 engines. I mean, really spectacular stuff, and the pits was certainly the place to be if you wanted to look at some really magnificent machinery. Now, the Aquatic Festival this year was also the venue for the third round of the 1988-89 series of the Formula One Fonda Championships in Australia. Now, this is an innovation in Australia. It's a special class of racing boat. They used to call them pickle forks. They now call them Formula One boats. They're powered mainly by Mercury, but a couple of them were powered by other brands of outboard motor. They have a turn of speed which is well in excess of 100 miles an hour down the straight, and their handling and their ability to go through corners is really quite spectacular. In fact, the spectacle that they give matches that of Formula One racing on the road racing circuits, in other words, Formula One car racing. Now, one of the members of the Board of Executives is Paul Jorgensen. Paul has been prominent in racing for many years, and I asked Paul where Formula One racing is heading in Australia.
Well, I think, Chris, that, with a few more months up our sleeve, we can become the equivalent to what they've got overseas in Europe and America, and that's very, very big.
Well, what do they have over there? Describe it to us.
Well, they basically got their act together, got very professional and got sponsorship involved into the sport, which in turn has brought promoters into the sport, which in turn has made the meetings bigger and the racing bigger.
It's run in a similar fashion to Formula One motor racing, isn't it? Where there's a Grand Prix circuit.
Very similar, Chris, yeah. The Grand Prix circuit for 89, the Fonda Series for 89, the World Championship Series, which is sponsored by Budweiser, is taking in something like 13 countries this year.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So they're all over the world.
Yeah, they're even going to Russia this year, which is that's
remarkable.
Very, very good. And I think it won't be too long before we'll see one in Australia. I'd say 1990.
That sounds marvellous.
Yes.
Bob Carter looks after public relations and promotions from the Formula One. Bob, where do you see it going in 1989?
Chris, 1989 is going to be a huge year for us. We've started with basically nothing 6 months ago, and we have the basis of an Australian circuit up and running right now. and I believe that next year our 89-90 circuit will have double the number of boats we got this year. And
Which will bring it up to about 28 or 30.
I think somewhere around mid-20s next year. Could get to 30. And then beyond that, the indications from the corporate sector in terms of sponsorship support is just simply outstanding.
Well, we're looking forward to the racing here at Taree. It's the second race of the season.
This is the third round of the Grand Prix.
Season. Taree early January 1989.
Yes.
Where are the next ones?
Our next Grand Prix is on Albert Park Lake in the heart of Melbourne, followed by Raymond Terrace, and at Adelaide it'll be our round 6 and the final round for the Grand Prix series.
Now, when you say it's the final round for the series, when does that happen?
We're looking at April 23rd at this stage, but that date's still being confirmed.
So the series finishes in April 89. When
Yes.
does the 90 series get started?
The 89, because it's a summer sport, we span 2 calendar years.
I see, right,
So our 89-90 season will start in October on the Gold Coast.
right.
And at this stage we're working towards a series taking in capital city venues only.
Now, we mentioned that Formula One racing is certainly there to give some thrills and spills, and an excellent example of that was Neil as a Gold Coast driver. In fact, we saw his boat as Shell True Blue 1 on World of Boats a couple of weeks ago. Paul had a really spectacular accident in practice following his teammate in practice on the Saturday. He got caught in the wash and did a full 360-degree roll and kept going. I asked Neil how it felt.
What actually happened?
Oh, I just turned a little bit hard and hooked in on Don's wash.
So she hooked in on the wash and around, and
Yeah,
over
just
she
rolled
went.
outwards.
Well, we were watching it. I happened to be looking at the boat at the time, and she just did a perfect slow roll, just like an aircraft. Lost the cowl. You weren't aware that the cowl had gone, were you?
No, I thought it was still there.
So you continued doing laps.
Yep,
Well, it says a lot for the strength of the boats and their stability
and the safety cell.
and the safety cell that she'll come back up again.
Yep.
Tell us a little about the safety cell.
Well, it's virtually a box, Chris, which is fitted into the boat,
Yeah.
and you're strapped into it with a 5-point harness,
Yeah.
and it keeps you in the boat similar to a roll cage in a car.
So you got a 5-point harness like an aircraft.
Yes.
And it's a modular fiberglass capsule in which you sit, which is structurally capable of taking any of the loads.
That's right, it'll take any kind of impact you want to put on it.
Well, it saved some lives in Europe this year, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
In a big way.
Yes,
100 mile an hour straight into a concrete wall,
no problem.
and the pilot, the driver wasn't
No, he
injured.
walked away from it.
So there it is, a combination of Taree celebrating her ties with the Manning River and some absolutely superb action on the river racetrack. We'll be back right after this break.